In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 college football games happening on October 21st, 2022, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Tulsa versus Temple. It's an American Athletic Conference matchup on the gridiron as a pair of sub-.500 teams take the field in the city of brotherly love. The Tulsa Golden Hurricane are on the road as they make the trip to face the Temple Owls Friday night. Tulsa comes in off a bye week last week. The Golden Hurricane were trounced 53-21 by Navy on the road as a 5-point favorite in their previous contest back on October 8th. Temple was obliterated 70-13 on the road by UCF, failing to cover the line as a 23.5-point underdog last Thursday in their previous contest. The teams have split 6 previous meetings, with Tulsa rolling to a 44-10 victory at home in the most recent matchup on November 20th, 2021. The Tulsa Golden Hurricane are 2-4 this season after they lost Navy by a score of 53-21 in their last game. Tulsa allowed 455 rushing yards and turned the ball over 4 times in the loss. The Tulsa offense is averaging 33 points per game with 327.8 passing yards per game and 109.2 rushing yards per game. Davis Brin has thrown for 1,839 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions for the Golden Hurricane this season. Steven Anderson has rushed for 236 yards and 5 scores, while Keelan Stokes has caught 44 passes for 765 yards and 4 scores for Tulsa. The Tulsa defense is giving up 35 points per game and 399.2 yards per game. The Temple Owls are 2-4 this season after they lost to UCF by a score of 70-13 in their last game. Temple allowed 737 total yards in this game and allowed UCF to go 8-9 on 3rd down attempts. The Temple offense is averaging 14.5 points per game with 79.7 rushing yards per game and 204.8 passing yards per game. E.J. Warner has thrown for 1,040 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions for the Owls this season. Edward Sadie has rushed for 160 yards and 1 touchdown, while Jose Barbin has caught 28 passes for 420 yards and 1 touchdown for Temple. The Temple defense is allowing 26 points per game and 356.3 yards per game. Tulsa is 4-1 against the spread in their last 6 conference games and 35-16 against the spread in their last 51 road games. The over is 7-3 in Tulsa's last 11 road games. Temple is 4-9 against the spread in their last 13 home games and 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 Friday games. The over is 9-3 in Temple's last the 13th of October games. 2 struggling teams get together on Friday night when the Tulsa Golden Hurricane pay a visit to the Temple Owls. Temple has been one of the worst defenses in the nation up to this point, averaging a disgraceful 7.5 points per game against FBS competition while ranking near the bottom of college football in most statistical categories. It also appears their defense may be wavering a bit, as well as the Owls gave up 70 points last week against UCF on a total of 737 yards. Tulsa has also had their fair share of turmoil on the defensive side, but they can at least move the ball offensively. The Golden Hurricane possess one of the better passing attacks in all the FBS and have put up at least 21 points in every outing, including 37+ on 3 separate occasions. Tulsa quarterback David Brin has been very good for them this season with 14 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. He should once again have no issues moving the ball against a Temple defense that allowed over 85% of passes to be completed for 433 yards in their last showing. The Golden Hurricane sport a 7-3 record against the spread in their last 11 contests, but they've really shined on the road, covering in 16 of their last 21 games away from home. The Owls have covered just once against an FBS opponent this season and have gone a dreadful 3-10 against the spread in their previous 13 matchups. Temple is coming off of a loss against UCF where their defense did not show up at all. Tulsa is coming off of a loss to Navy where they gave up over 450 yards on the ground. Both teams have lost multiple games in a row, but Temple looked horrendous in their last game. Both teams come into this game with the same record, but Tulsa is by far the better team in this matchup, and it will show from the opening kickoff. Look for Tulsa to control this game from start to finish. There's no reason to trust Temple right now against just about any opponent, so the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Tulsa's success throwing the ball on offense has put opposing teams on notice, but the Golden Hurricane have also found themselves in a spot where they're pretty one-dimensional offensively. They have just 61 yards on the ground in their last 2 games combined and have been held to 23 points per game in their last 3. The Owls struggled defensively last time out, but they've been pretty good at limiting scores other than that showing. There has been zero evidence so far this season that Temple can even move the ball much, let alone score points. The Golden Hurricane don't have a great defense, but it shouldn't matter against this pathetic Owl offense. The total has gone under in 4 of Temple's 6 games this season and has hit more often than not in Tulsa's last 7 away from home. Even if the Golden Hurricane put up points, it's hard to have any faith in this Owl offense to do much of anything. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. UAB versus Western Kentucky. This Friday, the UAB Blazers and the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers will match up in the 8th week of the 2022 college football season. Kickoff will be inside Houchens Industries LT Smith Stadium. Both of these teams have started this season strong, and I am expecting a battle in this one. The Blazers are coming into this one after taking down Charlotte 34-20. UAB looked great on offense as they continued to move the ball up and down the field. They also ran for 279 yards as they were efficient on the ground. The Hilltoppers are entering this one after taking down Middle Tennessee State 35-17. Western Kentucky also looked great on offense as they recorded 443 total yards in that game. They will need to stay hot with the ball in their hands if they want to take down the Blazers at home. Western Kentucky comes into this game with a 4-3 record overall, and they were able to secure a victory in the last game. Western Kentucky scored 35 points against Middle Tennessee, and that led to the 17-point victory. Under center for Western Kentucky is Austin Reed, and he completed 32 of his 49 passes for 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Western Kentucky is an elite offensive team, and they are averaging 40 points per game, which is 17th in the league. Western Kentucky's defense is giving up 23 points per game, and the defense at times can be improved upon. On the other side of this matchup is the UAB Blazers, who sit with a 4-2 record overall, and they are coming off another win in their last game. Against Charlotte, the offense scored 34 points, and that was enough to secure the 14-point victory. At the end of the first period, UAB was down 14-7, but the offense found success, especially in the 4th quarter, and secured the victory. Dylan Hopkins completed 15 of his 23 passes for 231 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. UAB on the season is averaging 34.5 points, while their defense is giving up 17 points per game. The Blazers are 7-1 against the spread versus a team with a winning record and 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 road games. UAB is 7-3-1 against the spread in their last 11 overall. Meanwhile, the Hilltoppers are 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 conference games and 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 overall. Western Kentucky is 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 after an against the spread win. The University of Alabama at Birmingham heads north on Friday to face Western Kentucky. This is a huge game in Conference USA, and both the Blazers and the Hilltoppers have aspirations of playing for the conference championship. In what most think is a 3-team race along with UTSA, the stakes are quite high. Both teams have already taken a loss in conference play, UAB to Rice and Western Kentucky to UTSA, and the loser of this game will need some help down the stretch if they intend to play in the conference title game. This one will be a fun way to spend a Friday night. These teams have very different styles of play. Western Kentucky loves to throw the ball all over the field, and they do it with tempo. Quarterback Austin Reed is a virtual lock to put the ball in the air 50 times when he is needed for a full game, and his 278 yards last week in a win against MTSU was his low point. He's even been above 400 yards once this season. The Toppers intend to try to win on offense. UAB loves its defense and has a bruising running game. Star RB Dwayne McBride has already run for 778 yards, good for 9th in the nation. His game log over his last 5 games looks like this: 137, 120, 121, 223, 177, and he has scored 11 touchdowns. At this point in the season, UAB is the better overall team. Playing on the road will matter, and Western Kentucky is likely favored for that reason, but the Toppers have struggled in 2 of their last 3 games, taking losses at home to Troy and on the road to UTSA before getting back on track at MTSU last week. UAB had a hiccup at Rice 3 weeks ago, but has otherwise seemed in sync. I believe that the Blazers are a little more dependable right now, and I am even willing to call for the road upset in this spot. I see the Blazers being able to shut down Western Kentucky's passing attack, as their secondary has continued to impress this season, so the UAB Blazers money line is our full game side pick. This is a tough line. UAB has gone under this total in 5 straight games. That happens when you run the ball effectively and play good defense. Western Kentucky plays fast, and they have been over this game total every week this season except for last week, when they won 35-17 and started slowly with a scoreless first quarter. This is a classic conflict of styles, and the odds makers have nudged the line a bit in favor of the high-paced Hilltoppers. I am inclined to agree. These Friday night games seem to be shootouts way more often than defensive grinds, and this seems like a game in which both teams will trade scores all night without really locking each other down. I expect this game to be close all the way, which will push both teams to keep scoring, and I do not think this is a matchup in which someone is likely to get out to a big lead and try to take the air out of the football. I don't see a lot of defense being played in this game. Western Kentucky is averaging 40 points, while UAB is averaging 34.5 points per game. Look for Hopkins and Reed to both have big games, and that is going to lead to this game going well past the total. Let's have some points CUSA tilt over the projected total as our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.